I think over the years, looking back now, I'm no longer that person again because I'm overly confident of who I am. And I don't take it from a standpoint of disability anymore. I take it from a standpoint of strength because it's now the more.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Behind the Scene of HERNERGY. Over several series, we've shared stories of women, even men, who have shared how they've gone through those journeys, those sweet stories we get to see out there, stories of resilience and wins. But today I have with me someone special. Her name is Rebecca Kehinde. She's a passionate sustainable mobility advocate. She's an innovator and the founder of AutoBeccs Innovative Solutions. Don't get me wrong. I said this YouTube series is not about the energy industry, but like I said, I have to make it of my network. If you have any other person that fits, please do reach out to me so that they can share their stories. Still going on with introducing Rebecca. Rebecca is currently serving the NYSC, and while doing this, she's building a brand in the electric vehicle space in Nigeria. That is one industry that's still, I don't want to say it's not so known. So for you to see someone this young trying to create her own niche within that space, it really has to be studied. Like she's championing several things about EV adoption, innovation, and even community education. Her journey is about early career ambition, and it's also cuts deeply quite personal because she grew up with something that would have seemed like a challenge to so many people, but she has learned to show up, take risk, and she's building solution in a path that is not clear. So today I want to go behind the scene of her journey, exploring passion and perseverance, identity, innovation, and space that is still emerging, right? Rebecca, I want to see how you get to do all of these things. How are you doing?
I'm very, thank you so much for the opportunity. It's a great honor to be on this platform. I really just want to say a big thank you to you and your team for putting this together. You guys are doing a great job.
Thank you very much. So let's just dive straight into it. We want to know who Rebecca is. I think you shared a story on LinkedIn talking about how you were able to overcome some challenges about your physical appearance. I want you to share your story. Maybe you could tell us your age so people can actually put a picture to like, wow, you're really young and you're doing these things. So just get to meet you.
All right. My name is Rebecca Kehinde, and I am a young advocate for sustainable mobility. I'm based in Lagos, Nigeria, and my passion is for e-mobility advocacy. E-mobility is an upcoming space, especially in Africa, already known over Europe, America, other continents. But Africa is just, should I say, it's an emerging technology in Nigeria and even in Africa. I think championing that space for me is something that I'm really passionate about because Nigeria happens to fall, should I say, at the extreme ends because of our power problems, power availability, and many other policies in Nigeria. I think it's something I would love to do over and over again. I just want people to know about e-mobility. Well, as to me, I'm 24 years old, and I think just talking about my disability, I grew up, should I say, age two, less than age two, having to see that I now have a physical disability that I never knew I had till I was age 10. My parents never gave me that conscious mindset that I have a physical disability until I got to class, GS1, and I saw people laughing at me and I was like, um, did I defecate on my body or something? Well, I didn't know that they were laughing at my physical disability because my parents have managed to save me from, like, it was never a conscious thing in my head that I had a physical disability until I got to senior secondary school one. So I struggled a lot. I became quiet. I became moody because I was already scared that if I say anything, people would use it against me or laugh at me at how I work. But I think over the years, looking back now, I'm no longer that person again because I am overly confident of who I am. And I don't take it from a standpoint of disability anymore. I take it from a standpoint of strength because it's now what is giving me the strength. And I see myself having to do more and will also continue to do more. Yeah. That's just Rebecca in a few minutes.
Wow. I was trying to pick something from what you just shared, like from saying it. Actually, I don't think the world really uses that word disability anymore. So, like, we've tried to make it seem like, how would I put it, in a way that even those with these challenges would build the confidence from. I'm trying to look at the perfect way to put it. The use of words sometimes actually
Yeah.
affects the repercussion and all of this. I just want to say kudos to your parents for you saying that you never knew that actually existed until you got out there into the
Yeah.
world. Now I want to talk about the technical space you're trying to build in. So you started
Okay.
AutoBeccs and
Yeah.
you're still 7. That's like a bold move. Like, how are you trying to navigate it? What is going through your mind? What's the push? What's the drive?
Okay.
And have there
Okay.
been any like challenges along the line?
I think basically what started my push for advocacy, or should I say for immobility, is because of how people have seen my physical disability, physical appearance rather, in like over time. So that's what really started my advocacy for immobility. Now, what my appearance has taught me is inclusion. It has taught me accessibility. It has taught me representation. And then it has also built an inner confidence, not on my appearance, but on my competence and character. And that is what moved my drive to start AutoBeccs. And also the need for me to build a space that is inclusive and accessible, and something that the world will keep talking about in the next 30, 40, 50 years to come. And not just a space that is going to go into extinction in like months. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. So that's really what has projected me into this space. For me, it was a mixed feeling because I was in between a lot of conviction and uncertainty. And I was like, oh, okay, where can I come in? Because I remember at the time I got to 500 level and I was about graduating, the popular girl in school, everybody just expects you to know that your next big thing, what you're going to do. So I think I was in between. What will I do immediately I graduate? Should I just find a job? Should I start serving immediately? Just a lot of conviction. In faith, I prayed, and then God was like, I just got the name. I just got the name, start this thing. And that was how I started. And the truth is that I also learned that if God really wants you to do something based on my faith, if God wants you to do something, it's going to position people that you need to achieve that thing around you. So it's not going to be much of a struggle. And I remember when I got the idea, I just called 2 friends. I told my friend, he said, oh, that's a good idea. And that's why it's good to have supportive friends. He was like, oh, that's a good idea. Please, I want you to start. And I know you do well. And then I called the other one. I was like, please, I want you to do branding for me. And he designed the logo. We agreed on the logo, the name, design, and everything. And that was how I started. The rest was just posting on my socials and saying, oh, I'm starting this. We're already a year and a few months into it. And I think
Wow.
the experience has really been wow. Yes, it's already over a year since I started AutoBeccs. I think 1 year and 4 months. And I think it just started with me just posting my thoughts and people saying, oh, I think I'd love you to do more in this space. And that gave me that confidence that I actually can do it. And I'm glad that the journey so far, although not straightforward, amazing.
It's amazing. So a story of the expectations from people, the fact that you wanted the inclusion, the accessibility. I think that's very important. Then also the drive. And
Yes.
I love the mention of you have support systems, you have the friends you called, and they were like, yes, you can do it. I think that thing is also very important. That's one thing I'm also learning to do, trying to put the ideas out there. Everybody just wants to know what you're doing. If you don't speak up, people would not know what it is that you're doing in the background. Also, look at the name of the program, Behind the Scenes. A lot of things happen behind the scene, and we really do not know what's
Just
going on
really
out there. Yeah.
exactly.
So thank you. Now, as a fresh graduate, was it that you never thought of going through that? I know you talked about thinking of the next thing to do, but starting up was maybe not something that was going to maybe give you money or funds at that time. What's on the mind of a lot of people after school is, oh, okay, yes, want to start making money, start working.
Exactly.
So, without this really established corporate track, how do you evaluate success projects like milestones, the visibility, community? your personal growth and the impact you're making?
Okay, so naturally, I would say that I'm not money driven. I think that perspective of me have really shifted me over time. I'm not money driven. You can't even buy me with money. That's something that I always thank God for. So my drive for starting AutoBeccs was not even based on, okay, I want to make money from this. Even till now, I want to make money from this. Although it's been a struggle to actually finance most of this project because I have to do it out of my personal funds or reach out to people to support. But I think that's really something that teaches me how to fundraise myself for projects and also be able to sell my dream to someone because it that journey teaches me ability to speak up, make somebody buy my idea and say, okay, I think I see sense in this, I see vision in this, let me support. Because I tell you, there are many people that even as young as AutoBeccs is, they tell me, oh, let me work with you and I get equity. Let me work with you and I get equity. If people don't believe what you're building, they will never come to tell you that in less than 5 years, I'm going to be positioned in a bigger space. And they want
Mhm.
to be there and say, oh, we were together while building this.
Yeah.
So money is never even like something I've thought of or put in my while building. Now, according to how I managed to scale, should I say navigate graduation. So there's this picture I have in my head of how people think of you when you graduate. Now, it's in between you want to satisfy people's expectation or you want to do what you think is good for you at that time. So people would finish school and tell you they feel like getting married is the best thing for them. Nobody is going to force you. But I just think at that time, my career, starting a company that will be placed in one of the biggest top companies in the next 5 years, maybe overly completing with Tesla and some other big company, it's something I really want to do. So I think that's really the drive, not money driven, not money oriented. I'm just people driven. I look for a problem and I try to see how people can get solution because I believe that for especially for someone like me with a physical appearance, every now and then I think, oh, if I'm struggling with this, there's somebody also struggling with this. So I try to make sure that what I'm building is very inclusive and can help other people that are also facing that thing. And I think going electric is something that would help because when we have electric mobility, people would not feel left out. They will not feel thrown away. They'll feel loved. They'll feel accepted into the environment. I think that's just one thing for me.
Okay, like it's more impact driven.
Yes.
So going back to the story you shared on LinkedIn, when after when you were 10 and you got to school and you navigating the entire secondary school, how did you fight the reaction you got from people? And how were you also like, was it something that you had to make people see you for who you are or you ignored them? Because we have a lot of people going through this phase. Some might even be maybe not even as yours, but they prefer to stay in the background. Some are
Mm.
even maybe like way more than yours and they still do not know how to ring it. So,
Mm.
wow, like something practical or just share something you did that made that. Because I can imagine what secondary school can be like. Like, even with names, I know how people turn your name and you become the
Like,
laughing stock. So, what exactly did you do? How did you get past that phase?
okay, so this question actually makes me emotional because I remember that when I got into secondary school. So naturally, Rebecca is a smart kid, and I knew what I wanted from. And I talk a lot when I was in school, like growing up. Like I think people say I talk now, but I think I didn't even talk as much as I do when I was growing up. So when you're in primary school is very interesting because your teacher will never allow you talk to a student because of. In fact, I never knew I had a problem in primary school. I know I had a physical, I just did not see it as bad as it was being pictured to me when I got to secondary school. So I remember first day in school, I got to school and then I think it was even like extra lesson or something like that. And the vice principal son, I would never forget. He just walked up to me. I think in class, we had a class before break, and then we had a lecture before break, and then I asked the question. So apparently, the teacher mistakenly hit into the break period. So the guy just walked up to me and said, "Is it only you? Every time you're always asking question." And then I said, even you asking questions, just look at you. At that point, I started looking at myself. I remember when I got home that very day, I cried. I told my mom I was not going to school again. I don't like the kind of embarrassment I faced this morning at school. Somebody talked down at me. I was asking my mom, is something wrong with me? Is something wrong with my leg? I didn't know. It was a word very new to me. Even despite this situation, I still try to report to the principal, the vice principal. But because he's a person, authority, they swept it under carpet. Then they were like, oh, yeah, sorry, sorry, sorry. That particular incident caused me to become reserved throughout GS1, GS2, GS3. I stopped talking. I will not be that girl that will ask question in class because of that one experience. I stopped putting myself out there. I was always moody. I was always small thing. I'm crying, just overly emotional because I felt like people were not accepting me for who I am at that point. But who's helped me snap out of this was I had two teacher back then, mathematics teacher, because I love mathematics and I do well in mathematics growing up. I remember every time I'm in class and I'm not talking, Madam Amanda will say, Rebecca, it's you I want to speak. Oh yeah, say something. How do we solve this equation? Because of that, I started putting myself like, okay, I know this man is going to ask me a question in class, so I have to change my mood. I don't have to look sad, and I don't want that because if I look sad while answering a question, she'll make me the subject of the class. She'll say, "Why are you sad? What happened?" So that incident made me grow out of that, should I say, that societal look, and then made me become okay. I have to just be outside. I have to put myself outside because she's going to be on my neck. Then there was this other math teacher, Mr. Akin. I can't remember his name, but that man was just too much. And the thing that he believed in me more than I believed in myself, because then I was transitioning into senior secondary school. So he was putting a lot of pressure, like you have to be good, you have to learn to speak. I think that was one way I built my speaking skill because he would tell me, communicate how you feel. You don't need to try to please people's feelings. If you don't like it, say it. If something is not convenient for you, say it. If the task is too difficult, say it. That's one thing that people with physical appearance try to hide. They'll be like, they are struggling and they will not want to say. They'll be like, let me not say, so that people will not say that I'm weak, I'm lazy. So they want to put them, they want to be overly strong. And then they are breaking that. So I think that I am grateful that I overcame while in school. Just passed it. I grew past that. I faced it with the help of those two teachers. So in front school, I was back to my SS1, struggling a bit, but by the time I got to the flu blew on me, it was out communicating. I started talking, and I think that was one of the things that made me, should I say, grow into what I am. And then into the university wasn't more strong because I already knew. So should I say understood my please people anymore? I don't try to be in people's books the way it should be and then unapologetic.
Yeah, I heard you. It was breaking. I was able to. So I like that. Like the same space that wanted to break you, or I don't want to say broke you still found people within that same space that actually helped you. So kudos to those teachers that helped you navigate that. And the fact that I think one thing is also important. Either way, you could have actually chose to, I don't care whatever he's going to say. If he's going to use it as the topic for the day, I don't care. I let him just get those. But because you had that drive in you, because you had that strength in you before, they were there to actually help you. I think that was one of the things that stood out for me. And sorry, I had to bring up that topic that made you feel emotional.
No, 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 it's fine. No, it's fine. And it's
So now I wanted to particularly say to women, but this series is not just for women because we're also going to have men learn from what these women are going through and also men that would share their own stories of how they've been able to work with women while the women grow. So what advice will you give to young people facing things like this, whatever challenge it is, especially from the society. Because, like you said, look at when you were in primary school, children in primary school were light-hearted, no worries. I guess that was why it was like nothing was happening, like everything was good until we got to that phase, like, yeah, we're already being aware and we can actually say a lot of things we want to say.
Let me share something funny. Do you know that while I was in primary school, I was the prefect in school. Sure, that leadership spirit was something that was inborn. I think it was something that started at a very early stage. I was given the role, elected into the role. It's not a point of maybe they wanted me to just feel good. That was why my teachers probably saw my leadership skills and those things that how I am naturally wired.
Rebecca.
So I think
Maybe you should put up the video again.
how being the head girl in school. Actually, I had to assembly time. I had to do a lot of things during primary school. So as the role demands of me. So I think that also helped my leadership skills and going into secondary school as well. Even while I navigated all those troubles, by the time I got to senior secondary as well, I was also appointed as the head girl. Should I say no? Senior girl. There's something we call it senior girl.
Okay.
Senior prefect or something. I can't remember. It was actually one of the best things I experienced while going to school because despite how much people would say, "Oh, she's weak, she's not," it's very painful that most of my classmates will be like, but she's weak. But why did they give her this position? I think somebody has even mentioned to me that actually they're not giving you this position out of sympathy. Like just want to
make you feel good.
These people saw that I have those skills. That's why they gave me those positions. And I think even coming down to the university, having to lead a lot of should I say organizations, serve as president on different for different organizations, then coming out, those were the things that built my leadership skill and what I'm doing now at AutoBeccs. And I understand how to put people together. I understand how to communicate to people, not just saying what I want because I have understood what communication is. And that's why you see for a while now, everybody has been inviting me for come and teach us how to communicate.
Yeah, I think I saw a flyer recently saying communicate under pressure. And I was like, wow, I love that.
In primary school, I was appointed as the senior head girl. They call it head girl, popularly known as head girl. So going into secondary school, I struggled from GS1, finding my identity crisis during GS1. By the time I got to senior secondary school, I was already better. Getting to SS2, I was appointed as the senior prefect. And shaped my leadership experience because from school at that early age, I was made to do tasks, coordinate people, go to the assembly. And nobody, even though some people felt like, oh, I was just maybe kind of they were giving me these positions out of sympathy or something. I still don't believe that was it. I believe that for my teachers back then and proprietor, for them to have given me this position, they felt like I really have those skills because if it was a coincidence, it wouldn't have been a coincidence for primary school and even secondary school. And then going into the university, having to now serve on different organizations. I think for SP, I moved from being a member to becoming assistant general secretary to becoming vice president and then assuming the role of president and many other organizations that I served on. And then even SP Lagos, I think so far for SP Lagos, I've gotten like over 3 or 4 awards from SP. And it's something that I feel like I don't get this award because I actually put in the work, and that's something that also shaping my journey with AutoBeccs because I believe put in the work and get the desired result, not just to keep talking. What people want to see is excellence. People want to see how you do it. People want to see your skills, your technical skills, communication skills, those soft skills, how you talk, how you put yourself out there, communicate. That communication part is very, very key. That's why I think this evening I'll be hosting SPUI and then I'll be telling them how to communicate under pressure.
Well done. I see the drive, I see the passion, and you're not just talking, you're actually doing. You're making it show and people are actually seeing what you're doing. So well done. So just a few words for anyone with maybe some setbacks or things they feel would not give them that energy to keep driving. Okay, a lot of things can happen, affects people's self-esteem, their confidence, and all of those things. So what's that message you really want to pass to them on how to get through these things? Okay, no, answer that. I have one powerful question for you after this.
Okay, so I think for me, it will be that never lose your identity for anything. Never lose your identity, like your self identity for anything, no matter what would have come, no matter what you would have faced, no matter your background, no matter where you're coming from, never lose your identity. Learn to turn your challenges into your strengths. I think that's something I've learned over time. Learn to turn your challenges into your strengths, because sometimes these challenges would always be there. They are bound to be there. Those obstacles are bound to be there, because that's what makes it life, right? So ability to turn your challenges into your strengths and make it a life purpose or a life mission is actually real confidence in building. It's actually what will put you on that track, on that where you want to be in the next 4, 5, 10 years, or even more than that. Because the truth, if you decide to put yourself in the dark room and say, oh, because I'm in the dark room, I don't want to go out to see the light, you will always be there. And it's just you yourself making that decision to say, no, I want to leave the dark room and see the light. I want to be in that light. I want to be in that boardroom. I want to be on that global stage. I want to be on that platform. I want to be among those that make decision over this thing. So that's it. So if you ask, whoever you ask today, they'll tell you that they've also faced challenges. So everybody have their own challenges. Your advantage is what really matters. Today, I'm no longer using my disability, my physical appearance, rather, I'm no longer using it as a problem. I'm using it as a strength. And that's why many people, when I reach out to them, they would give me audience, because they'll be like, if you can get to this stage of your life, I think I want to be also part of that book. I want to be among those that would put you on that next stage. Turn your weakness to strength, and you see that it's going to take you out, like to take you to the world.
Turn your weakness into strength. Leave that dark room and actually go into the light, because no one is coming to actually pull you out. You have to do the work yourself. So now, closing out on this session, that's been beautiful talking to you, hearing your story. So now 1 year and 4 months. Congratulations. So now, what is that story you want people to hear of you? I believe in the next few years, probably we're going to invite you back to this stage for you to share your story again, like how you're winging it, how you're winning, how you are getting contracts, making impact. So how do you want people to describe your journey years from now?
Okay, so I want people to describe my journey in the coming years as a story of resilience, because the truth is that I've learned that nothing would come to you at your comfort. You have to demand, get what you want out of life. You have to put yourself on that place that you want to be. So in coming years, I want to be on a global stage where people will tell me, CEO of AutoBeccs Innovative Solutions, come and do the talking for this. We want to put you on this project, on a global project for Africa, on a global project for Rwanda, on a global project for different continents. It looks too much of a milestone to achieve, right? But I actually believe that I can do it, and I will do it. So with the help of God. So I think my journey should just be that journey of resilience and winning, because I believe there is strength to actually get all this thing. You just need to put yourself out, practice excellence, because when you practice excellence, your work will show over time and people would call you back. You will just be that person that you want to have again and again because of excellence. Yes.
Thank you very much. Okay, you can turn on your video now.
It's on now.
Thank you for sharing the behind the scenes 24 years of your life, how you have built AutoBeccs, how you have navigated challenges, how resilience is that story you want people to share of you tomorrow. If your dream doesn't scare you, then it's not big enough. You're playing small. I like the fact of you want to be the one speaking for Africa, building that place. And like you said, if you keep giving excellence, people keep calling you to come. I look forward to seeing you on that global stage. And like I said, we'll invite you back to this space in years to come.
Thank you so much. I'm so glad to do that.